Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning practice. Just a audio check. Can someone on Insight Timer, can you tell me if you're hearing me? There are things that I'm changing on my end. Just say yes. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so we are going to be starting our hour and a half of practice. I call it a boot camp. And the idea that our peace and health doesn't come from finding a sanctuary, avoiding it, but rather from confronting it. In any case, today we're going to be practicing a yoga exercise called Yi Jin Jing, YJJ for short, which stands for exchange or renewal of tendon. That's the often very common translation. But rather than tendon, is actually connective tissue. It's really more like the channel, the Qi channel. Qi means life energy. So to complement that, we're going to be doing some Qi massage, starting with the fingertips, working all the way to the toes. We're going to be doing some tapping, acupressure, scraping, and so forth, starting from the top of the head all the way to the bottom of feet. Okay, so it's going to be pretty intense. All right, so let's do the one thing that is the most important, which is to adjust our posture. So I want you to focus your attention on your body, particularly at the lower part of your spine. I want you to stretch the spine as if you're walking up the spine, one joint at a time, towards the top of the head. Stretch your spine as hard as you can, as if you're hanging your spine onto the ceiling. Then I want you to lift up your shoulder as high as you can, as if you're bringing your shoulder to your ears. Now I want you to lean back, and as you lean back, I want you to open that shoulder as if you're squeezing a tennis ball in the back. Then I want you to relax the shoulder. Relax it one more time. Relax the entire upper torso. And now I want you to focus on your breath. Just knowing that you're breathing. I know that I'm breathing in. I know that I'm breathing out. Now we're going to focus on the fingertips. So I want you to bring up your left hand. I want you to bring up your right thumb. Now I want you to massage the fingertips one at a time. The fingertips are very important from a Qi standpoint because it's actually the exchange point for what we call the yang energy that is affected by the sun, or the yin energy that is affected by the absence of the sun. Now we're going to work on the joints. So I want you to focus on your fingers and just massage your joints with your thumb all the way around from the left to the center to the right. And when you finish one joint, I want you to move on to the next one. And when you finish with one finger, I want you to move on to the next fingers. All this time, I want you to anchor your mind on your joints, one at a time. And I want you to focus completely on observing the change in your body. See if there's any heat, sweat, pain, numbness. And now when you finish the right hand, you go to the left hand. When you finish the left hand, you go to the right hand. One joint at a time, one finger at a time. So you notice that I use 3 different words: knowing, anchoring, and observing. Those are the 3 steps of our mindfulness meditation. Now I want you to flip the hands around, and again, working from the fingertip, but this time I want you to take the thumb and the index finger and squeeze the 2 corners of the fingernail. One finger at a time. Now the corners of the finger, they happen to be very important as well. So when we talk about yang energy facing the sun, then the beginning points are often at the corner of the nail, fingernail. One finger at a time, one finger at a time. Now I want you to massage the joints again, this time from the back of your hand. Very mindfully anchor your mind on your body and focus on observation. Observation. It's important that we understand the word observation. It means that we don't judge. We're here to sense the change in the body, but we don't judge. Whether it's pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling, we don't judge. We just accept it and let it go. Okay? Now I want you to come back to the palm of your hand again, and this time I want you to massage the length of the fingers from the bottom to the tip, one at a time, basically massaging in between the joints. Now do that on the right hand. And then now flip it over and do the same thing on the other side, along the length of the fingers. Along the length of the fingers. Okay. Now I want you to massage the back of the hand, particularly some energy points that associate with yang. Yang is energetic. Yin is restorative. So it's not good or bad, black and white. It's not like that. It's the balance, energetic and restorative. So in the modern nomenclature, that would be fight or flight versus rest and digest. And what we do here, I'm going back now to our original description of the class, which is Qi therapy. But I modify a little bit by calling it mind-body Qi therapy to bring to the understanding that we have our existence is both in a body and a mind. And the bridge is actually the Qi, the energy, bringing all three elements together. Okay. And much of our modern sickness are, in fact, a result of chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is just our balance, our harmony between the energetic and the restorative, right? All right, so we continue. Now we're going to work on the back of the hand. These are some of the keys to enhancing the energetic yang energy line. And so I want you to open the fingers and work between the fingers using your thumb, using the edge of your thumb, and just kind of work between the fingers and leaving the thumb in a minute. And then the other side. We're going to work on the thumb individually, okay? One at a time. Now I want you to hold the fist and work between the knuckle. Again, taking the thumb and just kind of fit it in between the knuckles. And then same thing on the other side. And now I want you to work on the back of the hand and in between the finger bones. Okay? And then same thing. Again, concentrating on observing the change in your body. Now I want you to work on 3 different energy points because there's 3 different yang qi energy lines, yi channel. One is basically one is starting at the index fingers and ring fingers coming in. And now if you take your thumb and just put that on top of your wrist and just kind of rotate it, you find an indentation very easily. And that's called the palm of yang. And just kind of press on it, doing some acupressure, and then maybe just move around, massage. There's another one on the thumb. So if you, again, you bent your wrist back a little bit, you take your thumb, you put it right on the outside, and you kind of move it around, there's an indentation. Just push down on that and maybe move it around, doing some acupressure. And then similarly in the back of the hand, along the small fingers, again, you move the wrist and there's the indentation and just push down on that. Now this energy line, we name it after the large intestine. This one, we name it after the small intestines. And the middle is the one called triple warmer. For those of you who are interested in knowing more, AI is your place, okay? AI is your buddy now. And I use AI every day. There's nothing artificial about it. It's a collection of all the knowledge created by humankind. All right, so now back on the wrist, move it around until you find that dimple, push down and move it around. And then similarly along the outside now, along the thumb, and again, move it around, right? And push down and push down. And then same thing on the other side, and then just push down. Okay, all right, so we've done a pretty good job on all 4 fingers, both left and right. And now we come back on the thumb. The thumb deserves its own special attention. So we massage the thumb, right? All right, and then there's a particular part of the thumb right here. If you think of the thumb as a drumstick, it's right here. And so I want you to use the thumb and the index finger, form a pincher, and just kind of pinch this part. And then same thing on the other side. And now make a drill, take a knuckle, and just kind of drill into this part. And then drill into this part. Now, one of the result of doing this kind of exercise regularly and consistently is that you don't feel much pain in your body. Right? I'll be celebrating my 70th birthday this year, and I've been doing this for practically the last 10 years, and I feel that I'm reverse aging. Not only that, I get a lot of strength, and all that good stuff. But more importantly is I don't feel a whole lot of pain. I do have some, and I know how to deal with it, but pain is a result of inflammation. And so one of the very simple explanation for the benefit of what I call the Qi therapy is that when the Qi is blocked, you have pain. And when the Qi is unblocked, you don't have any pain. So it's that correlation. All right, so now we're going to work on the center of a thumb, which is we're now working on 3 energy lines in the palm of the hand. The middle one is the pericardium. So we take the drill and drill in the center. Now this particular energy point is the only one that puts out energy. So if you want to do any healing, you use your palm. That's why it's called a healing hand. Now we're going to take the 2 hands together and just kind of rub that together. But it's very important that your mind is anchored on your center of your palm. This is really not physical. This is both physical, mental, and chi. Now I want you to take the right hand, put that on top of the left hand, squeeze the fingers together, and just massage your fingers. Now you notice that we do a lot of work on the fingers because the fingers are that important. They're not just the fingers. They're actually the gate to the rest of your body. All right. Okay. Now we're going to do some finger exercise, and very simple Qigong finger exercise. So stretch your spine, lift up your shoulder, lean back, open your shoulder as far back as you can. Drop that shoulder, relax the entire upper torso. Now I want you to bring out both hands, close your eyes, and put your thumb and the index fingers together and squeeze as hard as you can. Now take your thumb and the middle fingers, put that together and squeeze as hard as you can. And then now the ring finger, squeeze as hard as you can. And the small fingers, squeeze as hard as you can. Now come back to the index finger, put your thumb in the middle of the index finger, squeeze, middle of the middle finger, squeeze, middle of the ring finger, squeeze, and then middle of the small finger, squeeze. Now put your hands down. Once again, stretch your spine, lift up your shoulder, lean back, open your shoulder, and then relax. Now we're going to do some more finger exercise. This time, we're going to be using the left brain and the right brain independently. When we bring up a right hand, we're using a left brain. I want you to focus on the finger. You can do that with the eye closed. And I want you to bring in the thumb, then 2 fingers, now the index and the small fingers, using your left brain. You don't have a choice. Okay, that's just how human body works. And then bring down your right hand, bring up your left hand. So automatically using the right brain. Use bring in your thumb, 2 fingers, index, small fingers. Bring out both fists and squeeze as hard as you can. Leave behind the right fist. Open the fist in reverse order, small fingers, index, 2 fingers, thumb. And then now to the left, small fingers, index, 2 fingers, thumb. And then stretch as hard as you can. Now say to yourself, that was the first one. Now I'm ready for the second one. Thumb, 2 fingers, index, little fingers. Left hand, thumb, 2 fingers, index, little fingers. Squeeze as hard as you can. Right hand, small fingers, index, 2 fingers, thumb. Left hand, small fingers, index, 2 fingers, thumb. Stretch as hard as you can. Say to yourself, one more time, one last time. Thumb, 2 fingers, index, little fingers. Left thumb, 2 fingers, index, little fingers. And then squeeze it as hard as you can. Open up the right hand, small fingers, index, 2 fingers, thumb. Left hand, small fingers, index, 2 fingers, thumb. And then stretch as hard as you can. Now sit up straight, palm touching, fingers touching. Push as hard as you can. And then lift up your elbow. And then now, without leaving, but keeping the palm together, bring down your palm, stretch your wrist a little bit, and then come back. I'm going to do the next modality, which is called tapping. Now, when you tap, it's very important that you stretch out your fingers so you can feel the vibration. Now, when we tap, we want to anchor our mind on the fingers, mind, body together. Get ready, go. Okay, we tap 30 times. So next time, just count as you tap. Okay, now we're going to cross the hands this time. There's energy points in between the fingers, remember? All right, tap 30 times, count as you go. Okay, now we're going to tap two very important energy points. One is along the small fingers and one is along the thumb. And so I want you to take your palm, form a V, and it's the meaty part, okay? Now get ready, sit up straight, get ready, 30 times. Okay, now flip it over, thumb against thumb, against the meaty part, okay? Forming a V, pointing down, get ready, go. Okay, now we're gonna go on the other side, on the side that is facing the sun. So this is actually the heart, right? But we don't separate the heart from the mind, so it's together. So this is actually more like the mind. And then the thumb part is the one that named after the lung. Now they're not actually um, uh, directly associated with the organ. We just name it after that because the energy line actually, for example, the thumb actually passes through the entire body, but it happens to pass through the lung. But more importantly, um, each one represents an element. So the lung is actually the mineral element, and then the kidney is the water element, and the liver is the vegetation, and the heart is the fire, and then lastly the splint and the, um, and the stomach is what we call the earth element. So each one has its own energetic and restorative relationship. And all right, so now we're going to work on the backside, and the backside of the mind or the heart is the small intestines. And this, I always mention this because recently there's been a announcement of a major study that talks about how the brain deficiency, particularly Parkinson, is related to your digestive health. So it's kind of interesting. All right, so now this energy point is on the edge facing the sun. And so you take your palm, you fold it, you see the line, you come across on the edge of the palm. So you this time you put your palm together, you fold it flat. Now it's very important that you sit with the you sit with your spine. Now this is actually the proper way to sit for this one. So let me show you. So I first stretch my spine, then I lean forward, and then I lean back. But as I lean back, I try to rotate my hip forward and my up torso back. So I feel the stress on the lower part of my back where the kidneys are. All right. Then I fold my hand flat, roll up my fingers, and I tap that 30 times. Get ready, go. Okay. Now this is the small intestine. This is the large intestine. So we put our right hand on top of the left hand. You see this valley right here, right? Okay. Now sit up straight 30 times. Okay, the other side. Okay, now we're going to switch to another modality again. And this time we're going to do acupressure. So there are a couple of energy points that I recommend, and we're going to start with this valley, this what I call the merging valley, right? And so the proper way is when you stretch your index fingers and your thumb, you see this edge here. Then you take your thumb, you see this line here. You put the line on top of this ridge, and then you bring down your thumb. You take your right hand, you put that outside of the left hand, you sit up straight, and you push down. Now, when you do it like this, you not only push it down, you're actually leaning towards the index finger, which is the proper way, and you feel kind of numbness. Ooh, that hurts. But ironically, it's the energy point that releases pain. And if you have any kind of pain, then that's the energy point. Now push down, take your left hand, put that outside of the right hand, and then push down. Oh, you feel that? Okay. Now another point is part of the pericardium. This is actually very famous for your heart. And so you form your wrist, you measure 3 fingers, you put your thumb right here. Now you can either put the rest of them outside or just below. Okay, you might get a little bit more leverage when you put below, and you just press in. And then the other side, press in. And then there's one more energy point right here. You folded your arm like this. Now don't use your fingernail, okay? Don't use your fingernail, just use the part of your thumb. Now sometimes we have lower back problem, right? Get up in the morning, oh, that hurts, right? Didn't sleep well. Actually, it's not so much how you sleep. It's really related to your, what do we call the Qi deficiency. And so I often have that. And so there's one energy point that helps me. So come back to the bend, measure 4 fingers, find the bone right outside the bone. Okay, press down. And then this one, press down. And there's one more energy point, kind of fun, and it has to do with the lung pericardium, famous for coughing. And so you take your left hand, okay? You take your right hand, you put that together, you take your index fingers on the right hand, you measure across. Now you have to straighten up your wrist, okay? Because if you do it like this, it doesn't work. And then you measure over, then you put your thumb on top of the bone. And then you press down, you feel that the bone cracks, right? Yeah, kind of fun. I like this one. And then the other one, go across. Again, straighten up your wrist, take the index finger, measure, put your thumb on top, balance on top of the bone, and press. It cracks open. Very interesting. All right. Okay. So now we're ready for another one, another modality called scraping. So everybody get their favorite scraping tool. And you said, oh, I forgot to bring mine. And you can't carry that on your plane anyway. You have your knuckle. That's your best friend, okay? So you can actually just use your knuckle. It works, right? But if you have a ruler, a scraping tool, someone mentioned, very smart, someone mentioned the top of a jar, the cover of a jar, all that works, okay? Now, we're going to do this very systematically. Remember I mentioned that there's 3 energy lines in the inside of the arm away from the sun, and there's 3 energy lines on the outside facing the sun. All right, so we're going to work from the inside of the arm, and we're going to work from the wrist to from the elbow to the wrist. So you take your scraping tool, you start at the elbow, you move along until you get to the wrist, and then you come back. Now, I highly recommend that you do this at least once a day, especially before you go to sleep, and you find that you sleep much better. Okay, after you clear your chi channel. Now we're going to move up, and if you move all the way up to the bone, then you back up, back off. So it's in the inside the bone, again from the elbow all the way to the wrist, and then come back. Now we're going to scrape the bone, and then we're going to scrape the outside the bone, again from the elbow to the wrist. Then we're going to scrape the center of arm, that's the triple warmer. Then we're going to scrape along the small fingers again from the elbow to the wrist. Now we're going to scrape the back of a hand, scrape the fingers, scrape the thumb, back to the fingers, back to the back of the hand, along the small fingers, in the middle, outside of the bone, on top of the bone, inside of the bone, in the middle of the inside of the arm, and then the most important part, which is along the small fingers. There's about 4 inches that are very famous for improving the quality of your sleep. Okay, sometimes we sleep, no problem, but the quality sucks. So when you wake up, it seems like you don't get a good night of sleep. Okay, now the other side, scrape the middle, out further up, but inside of the bone, again from the elbow to the wrist, on top of the bone, outside of the bone, in the middle of the back of the arm, and then along the small fingers, and then the back of the hand, the fingers, the thumb, the fingers, the hand, and then along the small fingers, the middle, outside the bone, on top of the bone, inside of the bone, in the middle of the arm, and then back to our small fingers all the way to the elbow. Okay, very, very good. Very, very good. Highly recommend this. And it's simple, right? And it give you a chance and opportunity to buy some toys from Amazon. What's wrong with that, right? You can go up and just look for the word. I believe it's Guasa, Guasa. If I spell it wrong, someone correct me. All right, so now we're ready for the next exercise. Notice that we're just working from the fingertips all the way, right, to the rest of the body. So again, I want you to stretch by bringing up your shoulders, stretch the entire upper torso, and then lean back, open the shoulder as far back as you can, and then bring it down, bring it some down. Yeah, Guasa. Thank you, Lucia. And then now I want you to bring your fingers, pointing the camera, bringing the 4 fingers, lock in with the thumb, the 4 fingers on the spring, wind up the fingers and get ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so I used to be a professor in UCLA teaching mechanical engineering, and this is the students that the first class in mechanical engineering is about Newton's second law. So this is Newton's second law: action equal to reaction. As you send a energy forward, the energies come back. Right. So it actually clears your both yin and yang. What leaves your body is yang. What comes back is yin. Okay, it comes back as restorative energy from the universe. It's actually qi is not part of your food body. So the Indians they think of your existence in these 5 sheaves, five layers. First one is just the food body. You consume the food, it forms the physical body. Then is the brain, the thinking mind. And then in the middle is the energy. And when they talk about the energy, it's not the food body, it's the energy that actually passes through your body from the universe. So they call that the nadis, 72 or 74,000 nadis going through your body. And when the nadis cross, that's your chakra. Okay, very different, very different. Now, they don't talk about 7 chakras. So we often say that, oh, there's 7 chakras. No, actually, there's 108. It's just that human body can only experience 8, right? Or 7, I forgot. And but chakra is not the same as the energy point. Okay, chakra is a part of your spiritual practice. It's in a way it's escape. You can think of it escape hatch to a different dimension. Whereas the energy points is really the crosses, is really the energy point that crosses over to from, for example, from the lung meridian, it crosses over to perhaps the kidney meridian, right? So basically you have these meridians and then you have these hatches, right? So when it crosses like that, those are the energy points, right? It's different from chakras, don't get that confused. All right, let's continue. Now the next one, I recommend that you do this. I recommend that you stretch your spine and then lean forward first. And then lean back and holding your hip in place so you feel the pressure in the back of your lower back. And then you open your shoulder, relax. Then you bring up your hands, You put your thumb and the index, your middle fingers together, and then you stretch out the other three. We call this the lotus hand. Then you take the lotus hand, you put that in front of your shoulder, and you open that one more time. This energy point is called the gate to the cloud. All right. Now the back of the hand has to face the camera. So get ready. One, twist your arm so the back of the hand is facing the camera. Come back, lotus hand. Put that in front of your shoulder. Open your shoulder. Move your hip forward. Lean back up the torso. Get ready. 2, 3, 4. Focus on your hand. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? All right. All right. So now we're moving towards the top of the head. And then what we want to do now is learn to massage the neck, both the back and then also the left and the right side. So you take your thumb and you move down until on both sides until you find this cavity. You look straight ahead and then you use your thumb and just kind of massage. And then you use your thumb, you push into the cavity, you lean back, you hold the pressure as if you're squeezing a water hose. And then relax. Now you take your right hand, you put that on your left, and you push down with your 4 fingers, and you grab the left side of your neck, and you just gently pull it to the right, as if you're pulling open a channel. Now you take the left hand, you put that on the right side, you push down with your 4 fingers, and then you grab the right side of the neck, and you pull it towards the left. Now you lift up your left ear, you take your hand and you massage this point. This is in fact the beginning of your vagus nerve, okay? And then you grab it across, massage while you're whispering to yourself, relax, relax, relax. Now you take your right ear and then you massage right below the ear and you move across, relax, relax, relax. Now you take your left ear, fold it down, and you massage the corner of the ear. And then you come down along the bone. Again, you say to yourself, relax, relax, relax. Now you do the same thing on the other side. Massage the corner first, and then bring it down. Massage, relax, and then relax. And now you take your thumb, you massage the corner, and then you go down towards the cavity that we call the wind. This one is called the pond of wind. So you go towards that and you stop in the middle, you look straight ahead and you massage. Now you feel a lot of stress here. So when you don't get a good night's sleep or if you cannot fall asleep, this is one of the energy points that will relieve the stress. Now you come back to the pond of wind, you grab it and you massage that. Okay, massage. Then you go to the middle and you massage. Then you go all the way down here, you grab it, you massage. Now you lean your head to the left, you use the meaty part of your thumb and you massage. You come back, you lean to the other side, you massage. And then one more time for good measure, massage, massage, and then massage, okay? All right, so now we're gonna massage the left side of the neck. So I want you to sit up straight, look straight ahead, turn your head to the right, and then look down. And then you see this tendon here. So just scrape with your index finger. And then look straight ahead again, and this time look up, and then scrape this part. Okay, and then now I want you to massage the shoulder. First you find the cavity. This is called a well on the shoulder. So just kind of push down with all 4 fingers. And then now go back and you find another cavity here. And then go outside, just a whole bunch. Go forward, another one. And then right here too, right here, okay? And then massage the whole shoulder. Now we do the same thing on the other side. Look straight ahead, turn to the left, look down, scrape. Look straight ahead, look up, scrape. Massage the shoulder, the back, the side, one more, and then in the front, right here, okay, right here. All right, okay, so now we are massaging the face, okay? Now we're going to use the healing hand. So healing hand, the center of your hand, you put that together and you focus on it. And then you use your left hand, you form an empty hand, you put that in front of your left eye. You take the right hand, you form an empty hand, you put that in front of your right eye. Now it's very important that you use the empty hand so you don't push down on the on your eye, because the heat, the energy that you generate is actually infrared. It needs space to radiate. Okay, so back to the palm. First time, put that in front of your eye. Open your eyes. Second time, put that in front of your eye. You feel the warmth. One last time. Put that in front of your eye. All right. Now massage the forehead. Massage the side of your nose. Massage your face. Massage the side of your face. And then put the center of your palm on the temple. Massage your temple. Now use 2 fingers. Massage the in between the eyebrow. Wow, that's a lot of stress here. And then go up 1 inch at a time. And then until you get to this point where the hair comes together to a point. And then now you take the index finger and just massage right above the eyebrow. And then in the beginning of the eyebrow. And then massage your forehead. And then massage your large brain, the part of your brain that is responsible for your cognitive function. Might as well say thank you. Appreciate your body. Go to the back, the part of the brain responsible for your memory. And go further down, the part of your brain that is responsible for your motor function. Massage your neck, and then massage above the ear. Back to the face, from the forehead to the 2 sides of your nose. And then back to the fingers. Now grab each of the fingers and just kind of massage that some more. Okay? And then now to the right hand. Okay? Everybody good? My computers are working. I've been struggling. There's so many settings, so many different apps that I'm running, and I couldn't understand why it wasn't doing what I wanted to do. Sometimes it gets stuck, the audio doesn't work. And finally, I gave up and I just asked AI. I asked Gemini, and I got the answer. It was amazing. Gemini is a good friend, my best friend now. All right, so now we're going to learn to massage the eyes. Okay, now the eyes are very complicated, right? If you ever go to a doctor, which I'm sure you do, and you have to go to an eye doctor, you realize how many people have to see the eye doctor, how many different ways that that are related to your eyes, right? There's so many specialists, you know, it's amazing. There's a specialist just to check the retina in case, you know, you're diabetes. If you're diabetic, it could be from glaucoma. Oh, there's so many specialists. So we only have 6 specialists, 3 on top, 3 on the bottom, okay? Now you take the index finger, you put that in the beginning of your eyebrow, you sit up straight, you push down with your index finger, you use a little bit of force on the back of your neck, you hold it, that's 1 energy point. There's 2 more along the eyebrow, you put your index fingers in the middle, and you just kind of massage your eyebrow, you squeeze your eyebrow as if you're squeezing the toothpaste. And then there's 3 more on the bottom. And then you take your thumb, you put that on the corner of your eye, and you just kind of massage along the bottom of your eye back, all the way into the tail of your eye. Same thing on the other side. Now we're going to take the index finger. Be careful not to use the fingernail. And you put that on the corner of your eye. You're actually putting it on the 2 sides of on your nose. Okay. Now we're going to sit up straight, close your eyes. We're going to do some eye yoga. We're going to move your eyeball up, all the way up, looking at the ceiling. Close your eye. We're going to move all the way to the right, as if you're looking at the other side of the room. Move it all the way down, as if you're looking at the floor. And then now all the way to the left. Now back to up. We're going to do clockwise. Get ready? Up, right, down, left. Up, right, down, left. Up, right, down, left. Now we're going to do counterclockwise. Up first. Up, left, down, right, up, left, down, right, up, left, down, right. Open your eyes. Very bright, huh? It's called the bright eye. Now take 2 fingers from the corner of your eye, massage to the corner of your mouth, to your chin. Second time. One last time. Now take the index finger, massage the bottom of your eye bag. Take the fingers and glide down on both sides of your nose. You feel the bone, and then all of a sudden there's no more bone, right? Now push down and push up. That's where your sinus. Okay, and then massage here. Now this is a very important energy point. It's called the middle of being, and basically it's the yang energy that's part of your governing vessel, and then the yin energy. It actually um, exchanging going from one to the other. There's actually an energy point right behind, right behind. And when we meditate, I will remind you, is we put the tip of the tongue right behind here, right? So this is actually the energy point on the outside, and then there's the energy point on the inside. The inside is called the J letter. So when you put your tongue in the inside, then the saliva gland would be reactivated. And so when you meditate, we do that so you're putting yourself in the rest and digest, right? When you're in fight or flight, when you're being, the body thinks that you're in danger, so it shuts off the saliva gland, okay? All right, so, so we're done with that, and now we're gonna work on our ears. The ears are very complicated. There's at least 260 energy points on your ear, reflecting one in every energy points on the rest of your body. And the Chinese believe that it is the fetus. It has the shape of the fetus. So it's upside down, all right? So first we're gonna work on the top. And so we put a thumb inside, put 4 fingers on the outside, massage. Put that in the middle, 4 fingers in the back, massage. Index fingers on the bottom, the thumb in the back, massage. Now we massage the tip of the ear, yank, massage the edge of the ear, and then massage your ear loop, yank. Leave the thumb behind the ear loop. Put your index finger outside of the ear and then massage. And then now we're going to massage the back of the ear. And we're going to take a thumb and just kind of massage the back of the ear. All right, the ear folds back like this, just at the fold. Then we're going to massage the corner, and then we're going to massage down. So one finger's on the ear, one finger's on the skull, and then we're going to massage this energy point, which I explained is the beginning of your vagus nerve. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then 2 fingers. All right, we're going to do one more thing called the drumming of the ear. Sit up straight, put 2 hands in the back, get ready. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, all right, so finally we get to the top of a head. All right, now we're going to tap at the top of the head. This is the energy point called 100 meat. That's my translation, and it's where all the yang energy come together. This one has a particular value to me. When my father was suffering from dementia before he passed away, every day I tapped this energy points, and I told the story many times, and it actually helped him regain his memory, even though it's only temporary. And let me tell the story one more time. Maybe this is 1,001 time. So one time after I finished, and I asked him to walk his walker, and I was, holding on to him. We walked down the hallway, and he looks over. That's the toilet, the bathroom, and then he pushed the cart inside. He opens the cardboard, and he sees his most valuable possession, which is his Old Spice. Oh, he loves that Old Spice. And he looks at me, tears running down his eyes. He says, "Thank you for the memory." He recognized it. That was wonderful. All right, so this is a good one. All right, so open your shoulder, lean back, relax. Now take your fingers, okay? Now put that on top. There's actually 4 energy points: front, back, left, and right. So just put that on top of your head, Okay, now make sure the fingers are down so you feel the vibration, and then count as you go. Get ready? Go. Okay, now take the fingertip, not the fingernail, and just massage your skull all the way back down to the neck. Second time. One more time. And then put that on top of your ear one time, two times, and then three times. Okay. Now from the top of the head, we're going to work towards the bottom of the feet. So we get to the shoulder. Now the shoulder, this energy point is part of the gallbladder energy line. And so we sit up straight, open the shoulder, turn to the right, bring up the right hand, form the empty hand, put the fingers on top of the well on the shoulder. But there's another energy point right here, which is what I call the gate to the cloud. That's part of the lung. So you wrap it around. So palm is in front, fingers on top. Now that you turn your head to the right, you can listen with the left ear. So count as you go. Get ready. Wake up. Continue. And then stretch again, open again, lean back, and then relax. Turn your head to the left, left hand, empty hand. Put that on the right, fingers on top. Listen with the right ear. Get ready. Wake up. Continue. Okay, now that's the gallbladder energy line, lung energy line. Now we come to the heart energy line, which starts from the small fingers and all the way to here. Now this muscle, okay, so you, typically people think about exercise in terms of these three different elements: stretching, muscle building, and cardio. And I actually add a four, and I think it's actually the fourth one is just as important as we age. We do it for longevity. It's called balancing. Balancing, right? This is something that is overlooked by the Western practitioner. So back to the muscle, okay? So we take the elbow, we put that on top of the head, we look straight ahead, so we're stretching this part. Then we put the fingers on the right hand, right side, on top of the ear. We turn the head to the right, we bring up the empty hand, we put that on the armpit. We listen with the left ear. Now, this is the first two of the 8 longevity cavity. Get ready, go. Wake up, continue. And then now the other side, put that on top of your head, look straight ahead, pinch the upper part of your left ear, turn your head to the left, left hand, empty hand, right ear, get ready, wake up. And then finally to another two longevity cavity is right here. So first we have to lock your elbow. Then we take the right hand, we wrap it around. So fingers on top, palm on the side, we raise the palm, eye level, turn the head to the right, listen with the left ear, get ready, wake up. And then the other side, lock your elbow, wrap it around with your left palm, turn your head to the left, listen with the right ear, get ready, wake up. Okay, now we're ready to go from the upper body to the lower body. And it's been almost, what is it? Almost 50 minutes, all right? Finally, we get here. All right, so, okay, that works. All right. Okay, all right, so now the upper body is mostly heart and lung. The lower body centers around 3 pairs: splint and stomach, liver and gallbladder, and then kidney and bladder. Okay, again, these are just names. All right. Now, the very important energy point is right here. You start with the knee. You measure 3 fingers, and you just now try to push in with the thumb. A little bit sore, right? A little bit sore. Okay, so a little bit sore. Okay, now we're going to use this energy point right here. Right here, remember this guy? Put that on top. Now, the kind of keep that flexible. Okay, get ready? Okay, now count as you go. Go. Okay, now we're going to close the knee. We go from the splint energy line to what's called the stomach energy line. So someone says that, I'm sorry, I'm late. Someone mentioned the YouTube channel, so you can catch up on the recording. All right, now, Martha, thank you. And then now we go to the knee, measure 4 fingers, find the bone, and then on the outside, right here. Okay, this is actually a very important energy point. So close your knee, get ready, go. Now we're going to measure 4 more fingers. Again, find the bone on the outside. Get ready, go. Okay, so that's one pair. Another pair is the liver and the gallbladder. So in the middle, very simple. Get ready, go. And then now on the outside, close your knee, 2 energy point. Get ready, go. Then another one. Okay, now below the knee, there's 3. So one is if you take your finger, you go like this. You can't go anymore, right? It's right here. Okay, get ready, go. In the middle. Okay, now go all the way down to ankle. Measure 4 fingers right here. Okay, it's called a ringing bell. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, now okay, get to the back of your leg, the calf. Right now, the calf is called the second heart. And right below the calf, there's an energy point that is very important. So you take that, you put that on your right knee, and you press down. You feel that numbness. That's the one. Do it the other side. Find the calf, right below the calf, and then 30 times. Okay, all right, we finally get to the toes. And the toes obviously is just as important as the fingers, right? Okay, now we're gonna work on the toes. Open up each of the toes. There's a like a indentation here, right? You take your thumb, use the edge, and just massage. Now this is the liver energy line, okay? And then one next to that is the stomach energy line. One next to that is the gallbladder energy line. And then one next to that is the bladder energy line. Now come back one at a time until you get back to the big toe. Now I want you to open the big toes and just massage in between. And then follow the bone, and before they merge, press down on that. Okay, and then massage some more. Okay, now this area, in particular this energy point, is very famous. Number one, it reduces your high blood pressure. Number two, it gives you a better night of sleep. Number three, it's actually important to your eyes and also for your hair loss. So I do this all day long. All right, now you flipped it over, you bent the toes back. You see this tendon? This is the longevity tendon. So brace on that. Now relax, scrape on the bottom of your feet, scrape on the back, the heel, scrape on the ball area, and then massage the toes one at a time. And then massage in between the toes. Okay, and now we're going to massage the arch. The arch is actually very important. So we go from the bone here all the way back to the heel, all the way around. It's a curved area. Then we come back right below the bone, scrape some more. This is the where the where the where the splint energy line goes, and then right below the ankle, that's the kidney energy goes. And once again, scrape the arch. And then now lay your feet flat from the heel to, not the heel, what's that called? Ankle, sorry. From the ankle to the knee. First, we scrape right behind, in between the ankle and the Achilles heel. There's an indentation here. Then from here, we measure 4 fingers right below the bone. There's another area called the triple meat. And then we scrape along this area. Now we come back. This is the energy point, very important, called gushing spring. Okay, so we bent the toes backward. We use the thumb and massage. And then we bent the toes backward. We form empty hand, and this is very important longevity exercise. Okay, so first you have to bend your toes backwards, so you find this energy point. Then you form your empty hand. So this energy point and this energy point. This one is fire. This one is water. So it's called a mixing water and fire. Okay, ready? Go. Continue. Okay, now quickly, we're going to do the right side. And then just use the edge of your thumb, massage in between the toes. First, the big toe and the second toe, then the second and the third, then the third and the fourth and the fifth, and then come back one at a time. And then open up the toes, massage, and then find how the bones come together before they merge. Flip it over. Bend your toes backward, scrape the tendon, relax, scrape the bottom of your feet, scrape the heel, scrape the ball area, massage the toes, massage in between the toes, and then scrape the arch, the entire arch, and then scrape below the bone, scrape below the ankle, okay, and then scrape behind the ankle, scrape 4 inches above the ankle, behind the bone, and then scrape the entire length. Come back, bend your toes back, massage with with your thumb, with the meaty part of the thumb. And then bend the toes back, form empty hand, mixing water and fire. Get ready, go. Continue. Okay, all right. So we're ready for the floor exercise. Okay. Now, before we do the Yi Jin Jing, the YJJ, we're going to do a little bit more tapping of the longevity cavity. Okay. So there's 4, 2, 3, 4. And then there's 4 in the lower part. And so 1 is right behind the knee. So bend your knee, straighten your back, looking straight ahead. Put 4 fingers behind, the thumb on the side. Get ready, go. Continue. Okay, and then one last longevity cavity is just right outside. And so massage. Okay, I mentioned that this is an important part. It's obviously very close to our reproductive system. And for those of us who are in that particular age group, we tend not to use them anymore, but we ignore that. We forgot that they're actually the source of life. So it's actually very important, even for the aging population. All right. So now we're going to put a fist fitted inside here. Tap that 30 times. Get ready? Okay. All right. So this exercise, as I said, combines all 4 elements, not just 3. Stretching, cardio, muscle building, and then balancing. Okay. So balancing. All right. So first, we're going to locate the very bottom of a feet, the energy point that we call gushing spring. We're going to stand like we grow roots into the ground. And then we're going to turn our toes inward and just loosen up our knee. You don't have to bend it all the way down. Just loosen it up so you can activate the calf and the energy point right below the calf. Then you focus on your shoulder and you open your shoulder, relax, as if you're lying the well with the spring. Then you're going to lean back your forehead, tuck in your chin. So you put the 100 meets at the center, at the top of your central nerve system. Then you take your palm and you focus on the center of your palm, that one energy point that can give out energy, and you take it back slightly. You close your eye. You focus on the center of your palm. Where your hand goes, the eye goes. So even though you close your eye, you can still focus on it with your eyes. Where the eye goes, the mind goes. So mind, body together. Where the mind goes, the strength goes. And where the energy goes, where the strength goes, the chi goes. Get ready. Go. Now, it's very important that was energetic. That was fight or flight. And now it's very important that you come back to rest and digest. So first you relax your entire body. And now you focus on your breathing. Start with knowing. I know that I'm breathing in. I know that I'm breathing out. And now do the second breath. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Completely relax. Restore the harmony of your autonomous system. How do you know you did it right? Feel the inside your mouth. If the inside your mouth is dry, that means you didn't come back. Okay, get ready. Second time. Open your shoulder. Don't look down. Look straight ahead. Close your eye. Get ready. Go. Back to the breath. Now, if you need to, you can put the tip of the tongue behind your teeth, where the teeth meets the roof of your mouth, and feel the wetness inside your mouth. After 2 breaths, one last time, open your shoulder. Go. Back to the breath. The second poem is called pointing. So you come back to the thumb. You point your thumb to your hip, you roll your 4 fingers, and it's as if someone hang 2 buckets of water on your thumb and you lift up that bucket with your thumb as hard as you can. And then you relax your finger without lowering them, focusing on your breath. Second time. Again, relax without lowering your hand, focusing on your breath. Feel the inside your mouth. One last time. And now lower your hand, completely relax, focusing on your breath. Maintain that yin-yang harmony, otherwise known as autonomous harmony. Now the next one is called beginner's mind. Mind means heart, heart means center. So you focus on the center of your palm, you bring in your thumb, you wrap your thumb with the 4 fingers, and you bring up your hand and you squeeze your fist as hard as you can, and then relax without lowering your hand. 1 breath, 2 breaths. Second time, squeeze as hard as you can. Again, without lowering your hand, relax your fingers. Last time, squeeze as hard as you can, lower your hand, relax, focusing on your breath. Now we're going to put the fists together, put it right in front of your belly button, and we're going to take a deep breath. Relax. Now we're going to bring your elbows together, the fists in front of your nose, elbows together. We're going to focus on the back, and we're going to stretch the back, and then relax, as if you're opening the back. The back is called the bladder meridian. Now, second time, open the back, stretch as hard as you can, and then relax. Back to your breath. And one last time. And then relax. Focus on your breathing. Check the inside of your mouth. And then now the next one is called fists above the head. Open your shoulder, open your fist. Now I'm going to roll your fingers very carefully. 1 joint, 2 joint, lock it with your thumb, open the shoulder, and squeeze. Okay. Now this is what they do, what they tell you to do when they draw blood, right? And you're basically working your heart like this, and then relax. Okay, open your fingers. All right. Now open your shoulder again, roll your fist, and squeeze. And then relax. This is very cardio. It's very simple, but it's very cardio. One last time, open your shoulder, squeeze, and then relax. Now, the next one called stabbing the shoulder. It's actually working on your gallbladder energy line. And you remember that I call the pawn of the wind on the neck? It comes down to the shoulder. Okay? So we grab, as if you're grabbing 2 daggers. You open your shoulder, you point the daggers onto the shoulder. This is called a well in the shoulder. And you stab. You don't look down, you look straight ahead. You feel the tightness in the back of your neck. And then you go, relax. One breath. Two breaths. Second time. Stab. Relax. Open. Stab. And then relax. Now, the next one is called the cross. You're stretching the triple warmer. It's actually very important. So you make a cross. You feel the two trees on both sides. You're just going to push down the trees. So first, we rotate the wrists and all the energy points associated with that. We form a fist. As we form a fist, we take a deep breath. We'll hold a breath and we'll push. We call this bang, avalanche, right? As if you push and cause an avalanche. Lift it up. Second time. Take a deep breath. Push. Relax. After two breaths, lift it up. Wrists, fists, take a deep breath. Push. This is so important. We do it twice. It's called front hanging. Lock your elbow. A tree in front. Wrists. Fists, take a deep breath and push. Hold your breath. And relax. Lift it up. Second time. And then relax. One last time. And relax. Okay, now we do chin up, but it's very important that you focus on it. You look up, you see the bar, you grab the bar, and you pull yourself up as you stay focused on that bar. And then relax. You're actually working on this muscle. After two breaths, second time. And relax. One last time. Stay focused. And relax. The next one is stretching the bow, like bow and arrow. So you grab a bow on one side, you grab a bow on the other, and you open. Again, this is muscle. And then relax. Second time. And then relax. One last time. And relax. This one is called practicing the chi, swallowing the saliva. Collect all your saliva. Swallow all the way down to it. Okay, get ready. Swallow. All the way down. Now the next one is very important. It's actually important for your spine and ultimately to your neurological health. So first we're going to check a goat stand. Make sure that your knee is not locked because this is a second heart, right? Remember? And then you're going to straighten your back. Remember where the kidneys are, right? Now you're going to put your fists together, back of the hand, and then you go straight down without locking your knee, all the way down until you lock your elbow and you're actually dipping your head down. And then you make a fist, back of the hand touching, relax, focusing on your breath. Second time, relax. One last time, relax. Now we're going to do this continuously. Flip your hand, follow the center of your palm, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in again, push. Take a deep breath and breathe out. Focus on the bottom of your feet. Walk back to your seat. Going from the bottom of your feet to the palm of your hand. And then going from the bottom of your hand back to your body as you lower your body onto your pillow. And you divide your body into 7 parts. First, the legs. We sit like the bell. The legs are the pedestal. Then the hand. Then the spine. Stretch your spine. Lean back. Relax. Then the shoulder. Lift up your shoulder. Open your shoulder. And then come back. Lean back your forehead. Tuck in your chin. Close your eye, but don't shut it. Your eyelid is like the drape. So it's like you lower the drape. So you don't shut the drape, you just lower the drape. And then lastly, you put the tip of the tongue behind here. Now you focus on your breath. And you feel your breath, and you feel your body. And you feel that there's a lot of sensations in your body, a lot of tingling in your body, and feel like there's a lot of energy in your body bouncing from the walls. So first we're going to do is we're going to collect all that energy, what we call the Qi. And we're going to do that with a abdominal breathing using our diaphragm. So first I want you to know your breath. Know your breath. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Now we go from knowing to anchoring. Now I want you to anchor your mind on the belly button. As you breathe in, I want you to open the stomach as if you're bringing your belly button all the way across the room. As you breathe out, I want you to collapse the stomach as if you're bringing the belly button all the way to your back. As you breathe in, you open your stomach, you're actually lowering your diaphragm, opening up your lung cavity. As you breathe out, you collapse your stomach, you're pushing up the diaphragm. Now, the diaphragm is actually a very important part of your autonomous system. So as you breathe in, you're entering into fight or flight. As you breathe out, you're actually entering into rest and digest. Now, this is scientifically proven. Your heart rate goes up as you breathe in, your heart rate goes down as you breathe out. Not to everyone. It's only when you practice abdominal breathing that there is something called a heart rate variability. The heart rate variability is actually a measure of your ability to self-heal. As you breathe in, you go into fight or flight. Your body thinks that you're in danger. You release stress hormone. One of the important stress hormones is called cortisol. It's a steroid. Its only purpose is to reduce inflammation. As you enter into the rest and digest, it shuts off that stress hormone. It restores the sensitivity to the cortisol. So people know a lot about what is that called? When they measure LDL and HDL, what is that called? What do they measure? They measure your cholesterol. So when someone dies of a heart attack, they open up the body, they see all kinds of cholesterol in the bloodstream. They think that cholesterol is the problem. So they invent all kinds of medicine for you to reduce your cholesterol without telling you that 80% of your brain is made up of cholesterol. So as you take your cholesterol medicine on a long-term basis, no wonder you develop dementia. But cholesterol is not the problem. The cholesterol is your body's way of healing inflammation in your blood vessels. The problem is with inflammation, not with cholesterol. Well, all that happened before my time, but the same thing is happening now in front of me. People understand that you're under a lot of stress. And people who are under a lot of stress have a lot of cortisol. Of course, it's the way the body is designed. When you're under stress, the body doesn't know. It thinks that you're being chased by you're being chased by a wild animal, so it puts out a lot of cortisol to reduce inflammation. The cortisol is there for you to heal yourself. The problem is not that you have too much cortisol. The problem is that you develop cortisol resistance because you are always under stress. And our longevity practice here is just that simple, is that we restore the harmony. When you breathe in, open your stomach, enter into fight or flight. When you breathe out, collapse the stomach, bringing the belly button back, put your body into rest and digest. Just restoring harmony, one breath at a time. Now, as you do that, you notice that your body calms down. The tingling that you feel is not there anymore. It's as if your body cools down. But actually, what's really happening is that you're collecting all your chi, all your energy into your dantian. This is called the field of fire. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to learn to circulate that chi onto a spine and come back. Now, this has been proven by Western scientists that it actually reverses the deterioration of your neurological system, your brain. So I want you to focus on the bottom of your spine and continue to focus on your breath. And when you feel that you're breathing in, I want you to go from the bottom of your spine, up the spine, stretch the spines upward, all the way to the top of the head. And when you feel that you're breathing out, I want you to come from the top of the head to your forehead, to your nose, through your tongue, back to your belly button. And when you do that, I want you to lean back and relax. Breathe in, stretch, all the way to the top of the head. Breathe out, lean back, and relax. We have 7 minutes. Let's practice this. It's probably not a good idea for you to make any comments right now unless you have 3 hands. Practice, practice, practice. Okay, open your eyes. So I noticed that there's some discussions on LDL and cholesterol. So everybody knows, right? LDL is not cholesterol. LDL is low density lipoprotein. LDL and HDL is part of the supply chain. LDL is the lipoprotein that the body uses to transfer cholesterol into your body from your liver. And HDL is part of the supply chain that brings it back. And it brings back unused cholesterol or cholesterol has been used. And so typically we say LDL is the good cholesterol, but it's not cholesterol. It's just a carrier. And we say HDL is the bad cholesterol. Well, I understand all that, but think about what the brain is thinking. The brain says, I need cholesterol. 80% of the brain is made up of cholesterol. So it actually needs LDL. So when you can't artificially cut down on LDL, then your brain is deprived of its constituent. And so there's been study that high HDL actually results into neurological deterioration. So go figure. And then another thing about food and the relationship between food and cholesterol. So I still know of people that opens an egg and throw away the egg yolk. And I'm looking at that and says, well, It's not a matter of right or wrong. It's a matter of old news versus new news, right? We already get past that. And so there was actually a guy, as a medical student, who wanted to disprove that. He says the cholesterol that in the body, 80% of that is produced by us. Only 20% is consumed. And so he actually went into a 3 month diet of consuming nothing but eggs. At the end of 3 months, he measured cholesterol, and the cholesterol went down because he was eating good eggs. All right, so I think it's meaningful to explain why the title of the class is going back to the way it used to be, which is centered around the word Qi therapy. And the reason for that is that we now have a Sunday class tomorrow, right, in Oakland, California. And we serve everybody, but a big part of our interest is to serve what is called the justice impacted population. So obviously that would include people who are being incarcerated. That's what Venerable Bodhidhama does on a full-time basis, is bringing compassion and loving kindness to those who are behind bars. We're not judging. We're not saying that they shouldn't be there, right? We are not saying that if they did the crime and they shouldn't serve the time, they should serve the time, but we don't want people to throw away the key. We want them to be rehabilitated. So that's a big part of what Venerable D does. And so all the donations you make today and every other day will go to Venerable D Home plus matching fund. But the work that I'm doing now is for people who have been released from incarceration. And so we're working towards having a regular class just to serve what we call the returned citizens. And so we have one coming up on May 6th, a class specially for around 12 to 14 of these returned citizens. And a big part of their problem is they have suffered trauma all their life, including particularly the time that they are being locked up. And so my approach to that is very simple. Trauma is not my karma. In other words, you can actually make a decision and not to be addicted to your suffering. And so I'm bringing back the word therapy as a way of bringing harmony to your mind and your body, with Qi being the bridge between them. All right? So it's important to bring back this idea of harmony. What are the things that we need to do to bring back the harmony, both from a physical health and a mental health? And a long time ago, I used the abbreviation NEURO, NEURO, N for nutrition, E for exercise, U for unwinding. So one is energetic and one is restorative. R is the quality of sleep, restoration. And then finally, O is openness, open to knowledge, open to your compassion, open to your gratitude. So we just spent an hour and a half, a little bit more than an hour and a half together. I believe the first thing we need to do is to be grateful that we have this time together, to be grateful that we're working towards the one common goal, which is to bring harmony to our physical existence and harmony to our emotional and spiritual existence. And with that gratitude, we can work towards something else, which is acceptance. I think when we look back, especially someone in my age group, we have a lot of guilt. We have a lot of guilt. Things that we wish we had a second chance, but life has no second chance. So we live with that guilt. And it's time to let go of that It's time to focus on acceptance and forgiveness. Forgive ourselves for things that we didn't do right. Forgive ourselves that we didn't do enough. This is especially true for those who have been caregivers to your parents. When we look back, we feel nothing but guilt. I wish I knew more. I wish I didn't make that mistakes. I wish I was there when he needed me. But it's time to let that go. Time to accept that. Time to forgive yourself. But it's not enough to forgive yourself, to accept yourself as who you are. You need to kind of expand on that. Be open to the idea of accepting others for what they did wrong to you, forgiving others. And with acceptance as forgiveness as your building block, we can now go on the next, which is to share. We have a lot to share, not just in material. We could definitely share material, but we can also share the goodness in our heart. It's important that we wish goodness to those around us, not only to those who's been kind to us, even to those who's been cruel to us. There are a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. We forget that not only human beings are affected, but all the other animals are affected too. They are beings just like we are. We call ourselves human beings. We focus on us being humans. We think we are supreme. But we are actually beings first. And there's a whole bunch of beings out there who are being affected by the hate, by the anger, by the division, by the war that human created. And I think that it is good that we close this session by bringing out our compassion and loving kindness, that we wish all beings to be happy, to be healthy, and to be someday at peace. May all beings be free from animosity and negative energy. May all beings be free from mental suffering. May all beings be free from physical suffering. May all beings be full of joy and be protected with loving kindness, compassion, empathy, and equanimity. Sabhi Satavaya Sabhi Satavaya Sabhi May you all be blessed with health, with happiness, and with peace. Namaste. I'll see you all next week. OK， 星期一見，拜拜。聽日仲有堂，你有時間就上網就得㗎啦，9點鐘。OK，拜拜。多謝大家。OK，拜拜。OK, thanks everyone. And I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.